locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke Loves Rasslin.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
If you smell la 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 la, what the Rock is cooking.
Smell la 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 la? Is it like fa la 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 la?
Listen, that's my Rock impersonation.
I thought you were singing Christmas carols.
Are you kidding me there?
You know, they say when you smell strange things like burning, you might be having a stroke. Maybe that's what's going on.
This guy's all over the place. Listen, welcome back to Duke Loves Rasslin. I am the Duke. And yes, I do enjoy pro wrestling imitations, no matter what my illustrious producer, the Boston bad boy, Iron Mike Pelosi, says.
Hooah! That is a horrible impression.
You know, folks,
The scent of a woman.
if you're as fed up with this guy making
That's
fun
an
of my
impression, my
impersonation,
friend.
you know, whatever, wise guy, the more you complain, the more I'm going to do it. Okay?
I'm just hoping that, you might just sort of black out before you hit the point of sort of no return with these things. Because I know I'm not the only one that's tired of it.
This guy just continues to put himself over. I don't know what to do with him, I'm telling you. Well, I'm so glad you are all here to join us this episode. We have the man, Steve Do It To It Cox. Right? He's back, and he's going to give us some inside information on the realism of pro wrestling. Okay? And that's a can't-miss segment. We also have more of your fan-submitted questions, a.k.a. Ask Duke. All of that, plus we're going to run the ropes. But first, I have to remind you folks to check out bookprowrestlers.com. That's bookprowrestlers.com. A reminder to all our listeners that plan on being in the San Antonio, Texas area on Sunday, September 11th. My friend Steve Stasiak gave me a heads up that bookprowrestlers.com is a contributing partner to the Great San Antonio Bash. That's right. This is an event that you can't miss, all right? Listen to this. Bill Alfonso, remember him from ECW? Colt Cabana, all right? And just added Shelton Benjamin. They're all going to be there with so many other stars there, folks. Head over to bookprowrestlers.com for more info. See you at the matches. All right, let's run the ropes. We're talking the 5 top stories in the world of professional wrestling. Let's do it. Is Dalton Bragg being targeted by the Selfie King? Word around the world of Chinese pro wrestling is Selfie King has been lobbying for a title shot against Middle Kingdom Wrestling champion Dalton Bragg. Now listen, this Selfie King has a lot of nerve, folks. He's sucking up to the fans and it's all gone to his head here. Okay? He hasn't even earned a title shot with Dalton Bragg. Head over to MiddleKingdomWrestling.com to monitor what's going on here. And they're going to have a big show coming up not only on November 18th, but also on the 19th at the Pattaya Boxing World Stadium out there in Singapore. Okay? We'll see how that all shakes out. Is Alberto Del Rio finally gone from the WWE for good? According to the Wrestling Observer, Alberto Del Rio has made it clear to the WWE that once his wellness policy violation suspension concludes, he's finished with the company. His contract is set to expire any day now, and at this point, neither side is interested in continuing to do business together going forward. Check out Duke Loves Rasslin on Facebook for more information on this exciting developing story. WWE has a new Universal Heavyweight Champion? That's right, folks. Kevin Owens. The man formerly known as Kevin Steen defeated Big Cass, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins in a fatal 4-way to officially be crowned the second Universal Champion in history. Head over to Duke Loves Rasslin on Facebook, where I have photos of Owens celebrating his victory with his son. Jim Cornette and Vince Russo are made to eat their words. Both Cornette and Russo have stated for years that a fat, not-so-handsome guy like Kevin Owens would never make it into the WWE and never be champion in the WWE. Now that Owens is the WWE Universal Champion, fans are sounding off, and both Russo and Cornette don't know what to do about it. Head over to Duke Loves Rasslin on Facebook, where I've posted info on how Cornette and Russo have reacted to the backlash. I'm telling you, folks, it is not pretty. Daniel Bryan and Miz no longer booked together. Word coming out of the WWE is Daniel Bryan and Miz had that segment on Talking Smack in which Miz cut a scathing promo in Bryan's face, and Bryan was so upset he walked out on a live broadcast. It was 100% real, folks. So the real fact of the matter is WWE has mandated that both Bryan and Miz will no longer have a live mic and be forced to interact with one another again. Bryan referring to Miz as a coward and picking on him, and then Miz responding back by calling Bryan a coward, really cut deep. Head over to Duke Loves Rasslin on Facebook, where we give you more information about this, because I'm telling you, folks, things are getting really, really real. And that does it for Running the Ropes. Up next, Steve Do It To It Cox.
You're locked in to Duke Loves Rasslin. Join Duke's Rasslin crew on Facebook for more exclusive content. Now, back to the show.
Folks, last week, we brought back the phenomenal Chelsea, a.k.a. the Wrestling Femme, and she helped us in reviewing WWE SummerSlam weekend. Now listen, if you hadn't had a chance to hear it, head over to youtube.com and type in Duke Loves Rasslin. That was episode number 20. And please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. But this week, we bring back a guy who's in popular demand. We're talking former pro football player, pro wrestling tough guy, and the president of Do It To It Promotions. How the heck are you, Steve Do It To It Cox?
Thank you, sir. Glad to be back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you been, Steve?
Doing very well. Just running around the countryside, doing my regular job, and then also trying to put on some shows and get them closed.
That's right. That's right. Now, listen, word on the street is that you have a big-time athlete in the household there. Is there something going on there?
Well, I had a laugh. You know, I got 3 boys and 1 girl, and my daughter turned out to be my D1 top-flight All-American athlete of all sports, soccer. And I'll be honest with you, it took me a long time to get to where I like watching soccer. Right at first, man. I thought it was the most awful sport ever invented. But through the years, I developed a love and a passion to actually watch and understand everything from the World Cup, you know, the Olympics with Brazil winning the way they had it on the men's side and women.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, you know, looking back, I wish I had my sons played soccer just because, you know, they used to, just for the footwork and to be a better football player, I'll be honest with you. I don't, you know, in that regards. But, you know, she's a great athlete. It's a great sport. Spent a lot of money. Her and her mom did run up and down the road. You know, in soccer, you know, it's club sports really big, and that's where they get recruited out of. And we're fortunate enough for her to get. She originally signed with DePaul University.
Oh,
Chicago. And
where's she at now?
Well, she was up in Chicago, and she didn't really fit in. She's kind of like an LMA country girl, you know. She's just a real good girl, and so she transferred back down to Oral Roberts University here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Mm.
And, you know, I live about a mile and a half from there, and that was the best part, was she's so close to home. Phenomenal place. But we go to, and it's really known for its academics, you know, and so we went to this award ceremony, and I'll be honest with you, it was funny because, you know, like people just, they didn't quite realize my past, because, you know, I try to keep my kids from it. They don't, you know, God, the oldest one, even my daughter, went to a lot of my shows, and then when New York used to come to WWE or WWF time would come in, and, you know, they do fought too, and all the guys, and her academic professional, I didn't quite know my background, but it was funny, we watched and they hear all these words, but we're introduced to these people, and they just kept looking at me, looking at her, looking at me, looking at her,
You've developed not only athletes, but these kids are sharp kids too, which, that's a testament to you and your wife and the great job that you've done. I personally want to just give a shout out to the entire Cox family there, your wife, your kids, for supporting you throughout your entire career, and it's just funny now. Dad's going to their games and cheering them on, but we brought you back here because there's been some wild things going on in professional wrestling today, and for a veteran like yourself with so much experience in different locker rooms, we figured let's talk to our friend Steve Cox, and he can give us some insight on historically things like this that have gone on before. So the first thing that comes to mind, which has really been the biggest story in pro wrestling, is Daniel Bryan and The Miz. They were on a show after SmackDown called Tough Talk, and Talking Smack, I believe it was called. Yeah. And these two guys were given a live mic, and they were told to just talk about whatever comes to mind. The WWE did not expect it, but it happened. They started talking to each other in a way, as you would say in the business, they started shooting on each other. Yeah. Started talking about real stuff to the point where Daniel Bryan had to get up and walk off the set because he was so upset at what The Miz had said to him. And that was only because Daniel Bryan said something to The Miz that really upset him. Right. In your experience, have you ever seen a situation where two wrestlers start shooting on each other so hard verbally that it turns into a real fight?
The thing of what I like, Miz is one of those guys, he's kind of like an anomaly. He's an okay worker at that, but he sticks around. He's got great mic skills. He gets better. And he's got a long time in the business on many different facets.
About 10 years. He's been in the business about 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, and Daniel, Ring of Honor guy coming up, little guy, earned his stripes, had that look and got his way in and made the most of it, but he got broke. And I was just telling the other day, those cruiserweights are great, but those little don't hang up. They can't hold up under the toil of the road, per se, because, look at that, the guy that paints himself up. He's already.
Oh, Finn Balor, yeah, they just broke his arm just like that, man.
That's what I mean. It's like, boom. It's like, what'd I do? Oh, she's already broke. I'd be laughing my ass off. So I think I was talking to you about this was, when Brock Lesnar and, who's the little guy there? They got sideways.
Chris Jericho. Yeah, we were talking about that offline. Yeah.
Well, and see, in my day, if they laced up their boots, they're doing it for a reason, and if they had a name, they would throw down and fight.
The little guys would take on the big guys any day, right?
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. You see these guys like almost do that kamikaze shit. You see them put on a little bandana. It's like the big bull, little bull. I want that normal bull too.
That's right. That's right.
And that's just that old school mentality. Because I don't know what these new kids are entertaining. Because it'd be kind of fun to just kind of go boo and watch them go, we had guys like that too, though.
You had scrappy, smaller guys who would throw down at the drop of a dime, right? But listen, you brought up something interesting, though, Steve. You brought up Brock Lesnar, and we know that Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, he took on Randy Orton. And
I love Orton's work. I love.
He's
on all levels.
Yeah.
And I know it just killing Vince to put his ass on the sidelines.
Yep. I mean, Randy Orton is. Everything he does in the ring is so crisp, which is why this is so scary here. They had Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton battle each other, right. And the idea was that they were supposed to make it look as real as possible. But Brock Lesnar, who's over 6 feet tall, he's about 300 pounds of solid mass. He gave Randy Orton a straight elbow to the head and split him open. Orton's bleeding all over the place.
Here's the fun part. People, welcome to the biz. It's called the hard way. Welcome to the biz.
That's called the hard way. You got it right. Do you think that's good for the business?
Oh, it's great. I swear to God, everybody back in the know, all the old school guys. Love that shit. I've seen Watts do it, Fritz do it.
Steve, what? If I can ask, what's the best real fight you've ever? You don't have to name names if you don't want to, but the best, yeah, I know you're not afraid to do that. But the best sort of where it might have spun a little bit out of control. Can you?
Oh no, this is funny. You know, when I went to UWF, anytime we worked in the ring, you know, when you're selling a move or a choke or a shot, you know, it looks perfect. You know, it matches up. You know what I mean? It all makes sense to the guy out in the ring. Because I tell people, you know, my job as a babyface is to get all these people in the ring behind me, fighting and holding me up, going against the heel. And the heel's job is to throw out all the fans out of the ring and quit letting them help me fight the fight. But you got to do that and make it all believable. God, he's a jobber out of Louisiana. Anyway, this guy came in and, you know, like selling just a choke in the corner. You know how you see a choke, right? You know, just how hard can it be to sell a choke, right? Well, anyway, this kid's arms are everywhere. Well, I was standing by Dr. Death, and this guy came through the curtains, and Bill just snatched his ass up by the throat.
What?
Put him up against the wall. Yeah, Bill was choking this like he wasn't. I mean, it was a shoot. Bill's choking me. He's going to kill the and he's telling him, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to choke your stupid ass out for making us look shit. I don't care if you're a jobber, a worker, a belt holder, you know, everything, you know, you do your job. You know, that's what it was in there, because you worked hard, you're a worker.
So the owner of the company grabbed one of the talents because he didn't like the way he was wrestling in the ring and grabbed him by the throat.
He sold the choke.
Wow.
And literally, Bill Beard told this guy's on the ground. And Bill goes, that's how you sell a choke. It's so much easier just do it the right way. He says, from now on, you know, do it this. So every time somebody get around my throat, boy.
That's right. That's right. Because you don't want Bill to come after you, right?
No. But, so now think of that. Now think of, you know, when Sting and the Warrior broke in, they first started over in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
After almost every match, the Warrior went out with just like losing. The Warrior like 6'5", you know, but he's a paper doll like Hulk Hogan. You know, they look like, you know, God dang, all you had to do is walk by and kick him in the knee and they'd fall over. You know, finally they couldn't take it no more. And Doc goes, "You want to go show them how to sell?" You know,
so wait, Dr. Death Steve Williams, the legend, who was a real tough guy, he offered to go teach the Warrior how to sell by busting him up the hard way.
Right. So anyway, Bill looks over at Doc and he goes, "You know, we're going to lose him." When Doc goes out there, I swear to God, it took the Warrior about 45 seconds to realize. He go, "Oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt." He just, you know, and I mean, Doc's like giving punches and kicks and just killing this guy. And the Warrior just slowly crumpling up, you know. I mean, just crumpling, but Doc's just like teeing off on this. I mean, just, you know, see what you do. You put your toe of your boot in a guy's rib. I've done it probably 6-7 times. Works like a charm. Drops him like a tom broke. When you knock the wind out of him. So what you
Steve Cox with the education for the fans out there.
I swear to God, the Warrior kept trying to like crawl out of the ring and knock him right by his ankle.
So was that the last time the Warrior was in the Federation? Is that when he left?
Yes. Oh yeah.
I'm sure that made him pack his bags and get the heck out of there.
Yeah,
boy.
Word travels fast.
Word travels fast. I'll tell you what. Now, Steve.
Yeah.
We appreciate you telling us those stories because that's just a prime example of how real pro wrestling can get at the drop of the dime. And you're such a wealth of knowledge. Obviously, we're going to have you back to tell some more stories there. If the fans want to reach out to you, what's the best way to reach out to Steve Cox?
Like you do, Facebook. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty easy. I start talking, you know, I get the jibber jabbing about, especially these kids, you know.
Steve, do it to it, Cox. Listen,
Facebook.
I'm gonna
get on your Duke to this. Yeah, I just. Facebook's good.
Facebook is the best way to reach Steve Do It To It Cox. And listen, I just want to say this. We really appreciate you being a friend to the show. Folks, anytime we have a new episode, we can always count on Steve Cox to share the episode on his personal Facebook. He encourages people to come on and check us out. We always appreciate that. We have a few friends of Steve, Stevie Ray, who was one half of Harlem Heat. There's guys like Alex Porto, the Pug. There's guys like Fatu, who we all know as the WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi. Come on the show like Steve Cox did and put him over like he put you guys over. Steve, we'll have you on the show again, brother. We appreciate you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Up next, the Boston Bad Boy has more of your listener-submitted questions, a.k.a. Ask Duke. But before we get to any of that, I have to remind you to head over to Barnyard Cheese. That's right, Barnyard Cheese over at 149 Avenue C between 9th and 10th Streets in New York City. You know, Boston Bad Boy, last week I told you about the Starvin' Marvin.
There you go. You finally got it.
See, hey, listen.
You grew up around here. You gotta, you gotta sometimes embrace.
I gotta let the accent out.
That's right.
All right. But this week, I'm all about, now listen, get this.
All right.
The Sexier Beast.
Are you just making these sandwich names up?
You like that voice there, too, huh?
Well, I'm a little frightened, actually.
I got to do that one more time. The Sexier Beast.
Wow.
That's right. Now, check out these ingredients. House roast beef.
Okay.
Farmhouse cheddar.
All right, I'm on board so far.
Tomato. Greens. And spicy mustard.
Wow. That's actually like right up my alley. And it makes sense because the name, it works well with me, my personality.
Oh, jeez. This guy. Of course he puts himself over again, folks. And you know what? He's spicy. But listen, stop depriving yourself of deliciousness. Visit barnyardcheese.com for more info. Enjoy.
This is Scoot Andrews, the Black Nature Boy, and you're listening to Duke Loves Rasslin.
It's always great to have our friend Steve Cox join us on Boston Bad Boy.
Very good. Steve's a good guy. And, man, for every story he tells, there's like 14 that he hasn't yet told us.
That's true. Hey, listen, do it to it.
That's right.
That's right. Do it to it.
Don't ever forget that.
Yeah, you better believe it, brother. All right, what do you have for us this week?
Well, we're going to jump right
Duke?
into questions.
Okay.
And, I didn't have, I grabbed some, as I usually cultivate the questions. You actually helped me out this week. So I don't even really, for the first question at least, I'm just pulling this right out of the hat to see what it is.
Okay.
And it comes from Old Man Wade.
Old Man.
Old Man River.
Okay.
I think he's related to Old Man River.
It could be.
Old Man Wade. And this question is, does Kevin Owens winning the Universal title... Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
You give me a Universal title
Your favorite
question
topic.
right off the top.
Your favorite topic.
You know I save that for the end when I tie the whole conspiracy together.
Hey, the word. Come on.
All right. Old Man Wade says, does Kevin Owens winning the Universal title begin a new era for the WWE for their top champions not having to look like the conventional muscled-up pretty boys and girls?
Wow. That's an excellent question.
No, it's not. Because any question regarding the Universal title is completely ridiculous.
Oh, would you stop?
Anybody who has to wear that belt looks like an imbecile.
Well, listen,
anyway, so I don't think this question is even valid.
Can we be nice to Old Man Wade here for a change?
There's nothing to do with Old Man Wade.
No, come on. He asked a nice question.
Like you, he seems to think it's important, and he has the right to think so, but I have the right to interject.
Respect your elders like Old Man Wade.
Wait, is he actually old?
Well, that's a good question.
I don't know.
He said he's old. Who knows?
He's like an old soul?
Could be. Could
All right,
be.
answer his question.
Well, and this is an excellent question because it's the first thing that's really popping up in everyone's mind after witnessing Kevin Owens win the Universal title. Kevin Owens, a.k.a. the former Kevin Steen, has a big belly, as we talked about before, scraggly beard. He's not the most dashing person in the universe, but what he does have going for him is he can wrestle just as well as about anybody on the roster. Okay, male or female, he's better than 90% of them. And even more so, he can talk his living life off. I mean, the guy is just amazing on the microphone. I hope this is a sign of things to come in the WWE because Kevin Owens is he's fantastic, and it shouldn't matter if he has a bunch of cosmetic enhancements with the big muscles or what have you, like Hulk Hogan or, looking like John Cena. I think we can get away from that look. Let's go for something more natural where every man on the street can look at this guy and say, hey, I could be that guy.
Maybe he should change his name a third time to Old Man Kevin.
Who?
Kevin Owens.
Why would he be Old Man?
Well, he's got the scraggly beard, the big belly, the whole...
Leave the guy alone. Listen, we're all about Kevin Owens, and we hope that this is a sign of things to come, Old Man.
The everyman.
That's right, the everyman, the man's man. What's the next one?
All right, next question. This one comes from Just Larry.
Larry.
Wait, I'm not saying that it's just... I think it's Just Larry as like a phrase.
Oh.
Just Larry. Just Larry.
So wait a second. Hold on, before you go any further. So not Lawrence.
No.
Not Lar.
No.
Not Big L.
No.
Just Larry.
Just Larry.
Oh, okay. Well,
like Cher.
Okay.
But Cher didn't go by just Cher. It was just
it was just Cher.
Yeah. Oh, Larry from the Three Stooges.
Oh.
He was, well, it was Larry Fine, but it was Larry. It was
could
Mo
be
Larry
him.
Curly.
It could be him. You never know.
I think Larry met a very sad end, by the way, in some convalescence home.
But he's still listening to this show. So look at
somewhere
that.
in the universe.
Somewhere in the universe.
Absolutely.
Just Larry.
And I had to say that Larry was my favorite Stooge.
Look at that. Let's
throw that out there.
Okay, just Larry the Stooge.
I don't know if this Just Larry is also a Stooge, although let's see what his question is before we get to that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, hang on. Here I am. With the way Owens won the title, here we go again.
Huh.
With the way Owens won the title and Triple H pissing off Stephanie in the process, could we eventually see a new Raw versus NXT storyline in the future?
Wow. I never really thought about that one, just Larry. It's a good question. I mean, we did have an NXT invasion angle, and then they did another one before. This is going all the way back to the beginning of NXT. But I think things are very different now. I don't anticipate seeing a lot of cross-branding in that manner. NXT is the feeder for the main roster like Raw and like SmackDown. So on a personal level, I don't think it would make storyline sense. I think they have to keep everything separate, and when people are prepared, they can move up to a main show like Raw. And seeing Stephanie and Triple H on opposite ends, I don't know if there's much money in that. That just doesn't make sense, especially considering the fact that Triple H is not an on-air NXT character. He's accepted as the guy that runs NXT, but he's not an on-air character. So in order for a rivalry between NXT and Raw to really exist, he would have to be introduced as an on-air character. That would have to be recurring, etc., etc. And Raw definitely has a major advantage. I mean, it's a 3-hour show. Look how big their roster is. So it's not like NXT has enough talent to compete. So no, I don't think so. Sorry about that, just Larry, but no, I don't see it.
It would be good, though, because I think what we need, really, and what the people want is like a 39th hour of Raw for the week. So an additional storyline could fulfill that need.
Your sarcasm is just so over the top.
I'm just speaking the truth,
You're
man.
just out of control. Listen, do you understand that baseball...
Next question.
Yeah,
next question.
Please
Next
move on.
question. I don't need to hear you
Jeez,
lecturing me anymore.
This guy.
Next question from Miss Jessie.
What?
Yeah.
So
another one of your cavalcade of stars coming through here.
So her first name and her last name is Jessie?
Yeah.
Jessie.
That's not that far off. I mean, in the 80s, that was big.
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Mister.
Okay.
Duran.
You just,
recently, I don't think it's a big thing, but, it's happened before.
We got all the winners tonight.
Obviously, yes.
Jessie. Like Kelly. There was a wrestler by the name of Kelly, by
Really?
the way. Yeah, she
Did
really...
she have a stutter, or it was just Kelly?
It was Kelly. But you know what's funny? Her real name, guess what her real name is?
Kelly.
Barbie Blank.
Wait, her real name is Barbie Blank.
You can't make this stuff
and
up.
she went with Kelly as a. I guess when you're starting with Barbie Blank, you can do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
She could have gone as she could be like Sarah Smith.
That's right.
It would have been fine because that's so much different.
So Jessie is our Sarah Smith. Let's
yeah, exactly.
Sure.
All right. So Jessie asks, how much longer can they keep going with the free agent Heath Slater narrative? He's a decent wrestler, but the plot getting cold now? She wants to know if the plot is getting cold.
Well, on SmackDown, Heath Slater, a.k.a. the biggest free agent in wrestling, he had Iron Mike Pelosi's favorite, Renee Young. Mm-hmm. She went to his home and interviewed Slater and his wife and his tag team partner, Rhino. And it was really
Do they live together all?
Well, it's an entertaining spot. They were playing games with it.
Okay.
And Rhino was eating cheese out of a can. He was spraying crackers.
I'm sorry I missed that. That sounds thrilling.
On a wrestling show.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I love Heath Slater. I think he's great. And this new gimmick that he has going on, I don't mind it at all. It's entertaining, especially considering the fact that you never know where he's going to pop up. He pops up on Raw. He pops up on SmackDown. He's a free agent. So, no, I don't think that the storyline is getting cold at all. In fact, the fans love it. And we know that the fans love it because when there's a match going on that they don't like, they chant, "We want Slater." So how could it be cold if the fans are chanting for him when they see something they don't like? Think about that.
Well, you know how when you watch like the Tonight Show or something, right, or a talk show or something filmed before a live studio, occasionally have the applause. I'm just saying, is it possible there's some sort of conspiracy going on that that maybe they're cueing the fans?
You couldn't even wait to say that word.
I'm just trying to work it in a little bit, just because it could be overreaching.
Do me a favor.
This could be deeper, bigger than you think.
Promise me that you're not going to say that word for the rest of the episode.
I make no promises.
Okay. Oh boy.
I make no promises in life.
Well, what's the next one?
Well, just so happens, because it's your lucky day, the next question is my question.
Oh my Buddha! Listen. You promised me you're not going to use that word, and you're going to please keep it under control this week.
Well, there's a setup here, so I want you to follow along.
Okay.
All right.
You got a story for us?
I got a storyline for you.
Okay.
So I put this together as best I could so that we can get through this, and my question will be coherent. Okay. Not that I'm ever non-coherent.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that I'm the most coherent one around here.
Yeah, give me a break.
So here's the question. The club, Gallows and Anderson, were paired up this week with Dana Brooke.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
They took on New Day with Bayley. All right? And we all know that Gallows and Anderson are from New Japan. Mm-hmm. They built the career there, and they were members of the Bullet Club.
The Bullet Club. That's right,
Bullet
baby.
Club, which is that'd be a great nightclub name, by the way. And then Finn Balor was the founder of Bullet Club with them. Mm-hmm. So AJ Styles was a member, so on and so forth, etc. Bullet Club had a woman in the group, right?
Yeah.
Who was the real-life wife of Luke Gallows. Her name, Amber O'Neal. She's a blonde. She's very fit. And she wrestles, right? And she's the current NWA Women's Champion. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But she's blonde and fit and wrestles. Now, WWE doesn't bring her in, yet they pair Gallows and Anderson up with another blonde that's fit and who wrestles. Explain that to me.
Okay.
And then she goes on Twitter. Can I continue with that?
Well, you tell me to explain something that you want to continue. Go ahead. Yeah,
well,
continue.
I just want to continue because this is going to fill you in a little more. And anybody who's listening who wants to just fully understand my point, the right point.
I see you already getting riled up here, so let's hope that your continuance isn't
too bad. So she goes on Twitter and airs her feelings on the WWE, essentially stealing her gimmick. Because she was the fit blonde, right, that was with these guys.
Yep.
All right? So instead of hiring her to be with Gallows and Anderson, they put Dana Brooke with them. And Amber responds by going off, and she's expressing her displeasure and saying, and I'm saying nicely because she really went into it. I'm not going to get into exactly a woman scorned here.
No four-letter words here, okay?
Yeah, a woman scorned on Twitter. But it got me to thinking, Duke, what are your thoughts about the spouses of wrestlers, especially the WWE wrestlers, going online and them, doing a shoot against the company? I think she's right. I agree with her.
You think she's right.
And I've spoken against a lot of stuff that the WWE has done, so I don't care.
Huh.
So, but what do you think? And I really think I know what you're going to think.
So let me get this straight.
I have a real feeling I know what angle you're going to take.
The guy who every week gives the WWE a hard time somehow, some way thinks a person who gives the WWE a hard time is right. What a surprise!
Listen, these people, these spouses. They're in it every day.
Oh,
they're in it when the cameras are off.
Listen,
who better, besides me, to mouth off against the company?
Let me tell you something. She is completely wrong. I think she's way out of line. She has no business speaking out against her husband's employer. It just doesn't make sense. You're putting him in a bad spot because on one hand you're the wife, on the other hand they sign the checks. So come on.
There is precedent though to a woman having a voice in her husband's job, and that would be the First Lady of the United States of America, who has a job when she is married to the president, and eventually when there's a woman president and the husband, they're expected to be a part of the big picture and a part of it. So why does that not, on a smaller scale, work with these guys?
First of all, what are you talking about? Listen, we're talking about somebody's place of employment here, and you're talking about the First Lady of the United States.
Is that not?
No.
That's a job.
This does not even come close to comparing.
This is not.
Okay?
No, this has nothing to do with money, which is what you're turning it into, as you always do.
If the First Lady of the United States says something that we the employers of the president don't like,
Yeah.
we can't just throw the guy out. On the other hand, the WWE could fire Gallows because he can't control his wife from making ridiculous statements online.
So he's supposed to control his. Do you want to go down this road
well,
right
listen,
now?
I'm just
Do you
saying,
want to go down this road?
She has no business talking about his employer. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, but she's in the business too.
But she
And
doesn't
she also
work for
worked-
the WWE.
Yeah, but she worked within that realm.
Oh, my God.
And here's the thing. Do you think that she went and did that without her husband knowing?
Of course she did.
Oh, come on.
Of course she did. And that's why it's ridiculous that she
No,
did it.
I think that it's perfectly fine what she did.
No, I'm going to tell you right now. I think that you're way off base here, and you got to understand. You don't need anybody to put you in a position where they're messing up your situation at work, because listen, that makes you look bad in front of everybody, not just the owner, but also your workmates here. I mean, come on.
All right. So what if it was the husband of a female wrestler? Are you saying that it's because she's a woman that she can't go out and speak against what her husband's doing?
No way. Don't even try to paint me in that corner, Iron Mike Pelosi. Hold on a second here, Jack.
I'm trying to see every angle here because you're not making any sense.
You know what? In fact, I will give you a prime example, okay? Eva Marie. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows Eva Marie in the WWE, all read everything, whatever. She was suspended 30 days from the WWE for testing positive for a banned substance, right? Her husband, Jonathan, he's the guy that's part of the Shreds Army. He's on Total Divas with her, all that good stuff. Well, he went online and went crazy, bad-mouthing WWE, talking about how he wants to expose the truth and all this other nonsense.
Conspiracy, maybe?
Oh, my goodness.
What was he talking about there? I'm just curious.
Jonathan seems like a nice guy, right? But he was absolutely wrong putting his wife in that position where not only did she just get suspended, so she needs to lay low and stay out of trouble, but he's going to give her more heat by speaking out and trashing her employer.
Heat?
It's ridiculous.
What
okay?
other kind of heat could have come down?
What do you mean what other kind of heat could have come down?
Listen, you're dealing with a factual thing. She tests positive for a banned substance.
Yeah.
She gets her suspension as per the rules. Him going off, they can't do anything more about that.
You're out of your mind,
They're only
friend.
talking about a rules infraction when it comes to testing positive.
No.
You're going to tell me that this guy can't say anything to defend his wife?
No, they signed non-disclosure agreements, first of all. So,
does he work for the company?
Listen, because he is the spouse of somebody who works for the company, if she's sharing inside information with him and he's going online and he wants to, quote-unquote, expose it, then yes, that would be a violation of her contract because it's in her contract.
Did he expose any trade secrets of the WWE in his rant calling them out?
Did he?
He
deleted his tweets.
Okay, but we live in the internet
they sent
age.
him a cease and desist.
Okay, you know what? This sounds a lot like a conspiracy.
No.
What do they have? Guys in black trench coats showing up here, telling people to delete their Twitter account? We're dealing with. Listen, you hire somebody who is married. There's an expectation that both parties know what's going on between a marriage. Okay, and if one person gets something happens or is there is a right there for them to speak out as a private citizen.
Absolutely.
So long as they're not selling trade secrets. This wasn't like he gave out or she gave out the secret Coca-Cola recipe that we're gonna cut you down, we're gonna punish you, there's gonna be more infractions. It's insane.
Let me tell you something, Jack. I don't care if it's your mother, your brother, your lover, your wife, or your mistress. Everybody needs to shut their mouth when it comes to somebody's place of employment. You don't put the person in a position where they could potentially have heat with the front office because you want to stroke your ego because you think you're going to sit there and set somebody straight. Okay? I don't care if you're Luke Gallows' wife. I don't care if you're Eva Marie's husband. Everybody, you let the person who's employed by the company take care of their own business and stay out of it.
So you're not supposed to speak out against injustice if you think that that's what's going on. If you think that there is maybe a conspiracy happening against you to keep you out. Here's the thing. If she's in the group with them, now the company doesn't want that because there's a united front there. I think they're trying to put a wedge between people with this crazy contracts.
The company's trying to hurt a marriage now? Is that what you're trying to insinuate?
I don't know.
Oh, my goodness.
Does it not create better drama? Are we not screaming about it right now?
She's not
Is it not driving the bottom line, which is money, as you always refer back to? Because what do the advertisers love? 78 hours of wrestling. So if we have real-life company wedging themselves into relationships, now we've gone completely off the rails. There's so much press about it. There's so many people talking about it. It's good. It's good for business.
You know what?
So the more that they can mess with them on the real-life angle, the better it's going to play in the show.
It's time to pull the plug, folks. When Iron Mike Pelosi starts talking that conspiracy stuff, I don't know if he's been reading H.G. Wells lately or watching Roddy Piper's They Live movie.
It's a great movie.
He's been going all over the place here. That's it, folks. Listen, thanks for tuning in this week. I hope you enjoyed our talk with Steve Cox. He was amazing. Don't forget to head over to Facebook and Twitter with any comments and questions, especially Twitter. You know we love when you add us on that. All right? Thank you very much. Also, the show is archived on YouTube. Just search for Duke Loves Rasslin, Rasslin. You can hear past episodes and everything. All right? Join us next week. Well, we'll have another special guest. Who's it going to be? You're going to have to tune in and find out. And hopefully Boston Bad Boy cuts the nonsense out.
Oh, come on.
We're signing off, folks. Bye-bye.
I'm bringing somebody on that agrees with me. And you know what? You're going to agree with me, and that's just going to be the way it happens.